Giraffes. Before the sun rises high enough to turn the grass silver, a shadow is already moving across the savanna. It is quiet, unhurried, almost unreal. A long neck emerges above the thorn trees. Then another, and another. For a moment, the animals seem less like creatures of the earth than watchtowers drifting through the morning mist. These are giraffes, the tallest land animals ever to walk the planet. They can look gentle, even awkward. Their slow steps and huge eyes invite easy assumptions. But behind that calm appearance is an animal shaped by pressure, distance, competition, and survival. A giraffe's body is an extraordinary solution to a difficult problem. How do you grow high enough to reach food that almost no one else can touch, while still drinking from the ground, running from predators, finding a mate, raising young, and surviving in some of the harshest landscapes on Earth? For millions of years, giraffes have lived at the edge of the sky and the ground, feeding in treetops, seeing danger from far away, and carrying an entire ecosystem of stories on their patterned coats. This is the story of the giraffe, not just an icon of Africa, not just a tall animal with a long neck, but a living specialist, a social creature, a fighter, a mother, a traveler, and one of the most remarkable mammals alive today. An adult giraffe can stand more than 5 meters tall. Its head may rise nearly as high as a second-story window. From the ground, that scale is hard to understand. A giraffe is not simply a horse with a longer neck. Nearly every part of its body has been adapted for life at this height. Start with the neck. It can measure around 2 meters long, yet contains the same number of neck vertebrae as most mammals, 7. Humans have 7. Mice have 7. Giraffes have 7. The difference is that a giraffe's vertebrae are dramatically elongated. Muscles, tendons, and ligaments support this towering structure, allowing the animal to lift, turn, and lower its head with surprising precision. But a neck this long creates a serious challenge: blood. The giraffe's heart has to pump blood all the way from its chest to its brain. That means powerful circulation and high blood pressure. Specialized blood vessels and pressure control systems help protect the brain when the animal bends down to drink. It is one of the great engineering stories in nature. Drinking, however, remains a vulnerable moment. To reach water, a giraffe must spread its front legs wide or bend them awkwardly. Its enormous body lowers toward the ground. Its head drops from a position of safety to one of exposure. In this posture, the giraffe cannot flee quickly. Lions know this. Crocodiles know this. And giraffes know it too. That is why many giraffes drink quickly, stay alert, and often rely on the watchfulness of the herd. One animal drinks. Another scans the horizon. Ears turn. Heads rise. A silent system of shared vigilance takes shape around the water. A giraffe's height offers another advantage: vision. From above the grass and shrubs, a giraffe can spot movement at great distances. It may see predators before smaller animals have any reason to panic. In some places, other species seem to read the giraffe's body language. A raised head, a fixed stare, a sudden shift in posture. These can become early warnings across the landscape. So when a giraffe stands still at the edge of an acacia grove, it may not be doing nothing. It may be watching over an entire neighborhood. The giraffe's great height is not an accident. It opens a dining room in the canopy. While many grazing animals feed low to the ground, giraffes browse from shrubs and trees. Their favorite foods often include leaves, shoots, flowers, and seed pods, especially from acacia relatives and other thorny trees of the African savanna. The highest, freshest leaves are often beyond the reach of antelope, zebras, and most other herbivores. For a giraffe, that is an advantage worth growing into. But the trees are not defenseless. Many of the plants giraffes feed on are armored with thorns. Long, sharp, unforgiving thorns. A giraffe meets them with one of the most unusual tools in the animal kingdom: a long, dark, prehensile tongue. The tongue can grasp leaves, curl around branches, and pull food past thorns with remarkable care. Tough lips and a resilient mouth help protect the animal as it feeds. From a distance, browsing may look simple, reach, pull, chew, repeat. But in reality, it is a delicate negotiation between animal and plant. The giraffe is selective. It may choose younger leaves, move between trees, and change its feeding pattern with the seasons. During dry periods, when grass becomes sparse and the landscape hardens under the sun, the giraffe's ability to browse high in the trees can become especially valuable. Like cattle, giraffes are ruminants. Their stomachs are divided into compartments, allowing them to process fibrous plant material. Food is swallowed, later brought back up, chewed again, and digested more thoroughly. This is not fast eating. It is efficient eating. A giraffe can spend many hours each day feeding. Its body is large, its energy needs are substantial, and its food is scattered across a wide landscape. It does not simply find a field and stay there. It travels from patch to patch, from tree to tree, following resources that can change with rain, drought, fire, and season. The savanna may look open, but to a giraffe, it is a map of opportunities. That acacia cluster may offer tender leaves after rainfall. That riverbed may hold greener vegetation during the dry season. That ridge may be exposed, but safe from ambush. And that thorn tree on the horizon may be worth a long walk. No two giraffes were exactly the same pattern. Their coats are mosaics of patches, lines, and spaces, patterns that vary between individuals and populations. Some giraffes appear to have large, blocky patches. Others have more leaf-like or irregular shapes. The colors can range from pale cream and orange to rich chestnut brown. To us, the pattern is beautiful. To the giraffe, it may be much more. In broken shade, among branches and long grass, the patches disrupt the outline of the body. A giraffe is enormous, but in the dappled light of a woodland edge, its coat can soften its silhouette. The pattern may also carry information. Young giraffes can recognize their mothers. Adults may distinguish familiar individuals. In a species where visual contact often stretches across long distances, appearance matters. A giraffe's coat is not a uniform costume worn by the whole species. It is closer to a fingerprint, part camouflage, part identity, part inheritance. And above the head are two strange structures that children often mistake for horns. They're called ossicones. These skin-covered, bone-like projections are found in both male and female giraffes, though they can differ in shape and wear. In males, the tops may become bare over time from repeated combat. In females, they're often more tufted. Ossicones are not merely decoration. They are part of a giraffe's visual identity. Another detail in a world where posture, size, scent, and appearance all contribute to social life. A giraffe's eyes are also unforgettable. Large, dark, and framed by long lashes, they're positioned to give the animal a broad view of its surroundings. The lashes help protect against dust and sun. The ears can swivel toward sound. The nose samples the air. The giraffe is a creature of height, but it is never detached from the world below. It reads the wind. It watches the grass. It listens for alarm calls. And with one small movement of the head, it can turn from peaceful browser to alert sentinel. Giraffes live in groups, but not always in the way people expect. They do not necessarily form tightly fixed herds with the same members every day. Instead, many giraffe societies are fluid. Individuals may join, separate, and regroup depending on food, season, sex, age, safety, and opportunity. Researchers sometimes describe this as a fission, fusion society. Groups split apart and come together again. A few females may browse together in the morning. A mother and calf may travel with a larger group by midday. Several males may appear near a favored feeding area. By evening, the group may have changed entirely. From afar, this can seem casual, but a fluid social life does not mean a simple one. Giraffes recognize one another. They form associations. Some individuals spend more time together than others. Females may benefit from the presence of familiar companions, particularly when calves are involved. Young giraffes learn by watching adults, where to feed, when to move, what danger looks like, and how to belong in a world full of animals larger, smaller, faster, and more dangerous than themselves. For much of human history, giraffes were assumed to be quiet and distant animals with little social complexity. But the more carefully people observe them, the more that picture changes. Giraffes communicate through posture, movement, scent, and subtle visual signals. They may also produce low-frequency sounds, including humming like vocalizations, especially at night. Some of these sounds may travel in ways that are difficult for human ears to notice. The savannah is often imagined as a place of loud calls, roaring lions, trumpeting elephants, laughing hyenas. But not all communication is loud. Some of it is a glance. Some of it is a shift in stance. Some of it is a low vibration in the dark. At night, giraffes may rest in short periods rather than long, unbroken sleep. In the wild, deep sleep can be risky. An animal this large must remain aware of its surroundings. Even when the landscape appears still, survival continues. There is a moment when the giraffe's peaceful image disappears. Two males stand near one another. They assess. They circle. Their bodies shift. Then, with astonishing force, one swings his neck. This behavior is known as necking. Male giraffes use their long necks as weapons in contests for status and mating opportunities. At first, the movement can appear almost ceremonial. The males may rub or lean against each other, but competition can quickly become serious. A heavy head, reinforced by ossicones, is swung like a hammer. The impact can be loud enough to hear from a distance. To watch necking is to see the giraffe in a completely different light. The neck that reaches leaves above the canopy is also a lever of power. The head that scans for predators is also a weapon. The same anatomy that makes giraffes elegant makes them formidable. Older, larger males often dominate these contests, though size alone is not everything. Strength, timing, endurance, and experience all matter. Some confrontations end without serious injury. Others can leave visible scars. Competition among males is not only about force. It is also about access. A male giraffe may investigate a female's reproductive condition using scent and behavior. He may follow her, test the air, and assess whether she is ready to mate. This is part of a complex social and biological process that unfolds across large, shifting landscapes. For males, the savannah is not just a feeding ground. It is an arena. And every rival is a reminder that height is only one kind of advantage. For a giraffe calf, life begins with a fall. A mother giraffe gives birth standing up. The newborn drops to the ground from a considerable height, often around 2 meters. It is a dramatic entrance. But within a surprisingly short time, the calf must try to stand. Its legs tremble. Its body sways. It stumbles, rises, falls again, and rises once more. Because in the savannah, childhood begins with urgency. A newborn giraffe is already tall enough to look extraordinary beside many other animals. Yet it is still vulnerable. Predators, harsh weather, separation, and hunger all present threats in the first days and weeks of life. The mother stays close. She nurses the calf, guides it, and protects it with her massive body. If danger comes near, a giraffe's kick can be devastating. Its long legs are built not only for walking across distance, but for delivering powerful blows. A lion that gets too close may discover that a giraffe is far from defenseless. The calf, meanwhile, must learn quickly. It learns the smell and movement of its mother. It learns where to stand. It learns when to follow. It learns that a sudden stillness in the herd can mean danger. And it learns the great lesson of every young animal on the savannah. Stay close, stay alert, and grow. In some giraffe populations, calves may spend time near one another while mothers browse nearby. The adults remain watchful, and the young gain social experience among peers. For a calf, the world is a forest of legs. It is a landscape of moving shadows, tall grass, dust, birds, and distant sounds. It must make sense of this world before it is large enough to dominate the horizon itself. A young giraffe's rapid growth is not just impressive. It is protective. The taller it becomes, the harder it is for some predators to overpower. But size never makes life easy. Even an adult giraffe must remain vigilant. A giraffe has few natural enemies when fully grown. But few does not mean none. Lions are the primary predators of giraffes in many regions. A coordinated pride can target an isolated adult, especially one that is injured, old, weakened, or caught in difficult terrain. Young giraffes face an even greater risk. For a calf, the first months of life can be a test of constant awareness. The hunt is not always a sudden explosion of speed. Often, it begins with patience. Lions use grass, shadows, wind direction, and terrain. They wait for an animal to drift too far from safety. They look for hesitation, weakness, separation. Giraffes respond with height, vision, group awareness, speed, and force. When threatened, a giraffe can run at impressive speeds. Its stride covers huge distances, and its movement, though it may look unusual, is efficient. Giraffes often move both legs on one side of the body forward together in a pacing gait when walking. At a run, their long limbs create a flowing, powerful rhythm. And then there is the kick. The giraffe's kick is one of its greatest defenses. A well-placed strike can injure or kill a predator. Lions understand the danger. A giraffe can be a meal, but it can also be a risk. Water adds another layer of danger. In dry regions, waterholes draw many species together: giraffes, zebras, antelope, elephants, birds, predators, and scavengers. These places are essential, but they are also tense. Every visitor is exposed. For giraffes, drinking requires them to lower their heads and spread their legs. At the edge of a river, a crocodile may wait beneath the surface. At the edge of a waterhole, lions may wait in cover. This is why drinking is rarely careless. A giraffe may approach, pause, scan, retreat, return, and only then lower its head. The waterhole is not simply a source of life. It is a negotiation with danger. There is no single giraffe landscape. Giraffes live across a range of African habitats: open savannas, woodlands, dry scrublands, thornbush country, and riverine areas. What these places often share is access to browse, trees and shrubs that can support the giraffe's specialized diet. But habitats change. Rainfall shifts. Rivers rise and shrink. Fires move through grass. Trees grow, die, or are cut down. Livestock compete for resources. Roads divide once connected areas. Fences alter ancient travel routes. For a large animal that depends on movement, fragmentation can be a serious problem. A giraffe may need access to seasonal feeding grounds, water, breeding areas, and safe routes between them. When landscapes become broken into smaller pieces, the animal's world becomes smaller, even if it still looks vast to us. The fate of giraffes is tied to the fate of trees. That relationship is easy to overlook because giraffes are so visible. We see the animal. We do not always see the network behind it. The acacia woodland, the rainfall pattern, the insects, the soil, the migratory routes, the communities living nearby, the predators that shape behavior, and the conservation teams monitoring populations. A giraffe is not an isolated giant. It is part of a living system. And when that system changes, the giraffe changes with it. For many people, giraffes feel common because they are famous. They appear in children's books, zoos, logos, toys, and wildlife documentaries. Their shape is instantly recognizable. But recognizability is not protection. While giraffe populations have faced pressure from habitat loss, human expansion, conflict, poaching in some areas, and the fragmentation of migration routes, different giraffe populations face different challenges. In some places, numbers have declined. In others, targeted protection and careful management have helped populations stabilize or recover. The conservation story is not one simple headline. It is local. It depends on which giraffes, which habitat, which community, and which threats are involved. Conservationists work to understand giraffes in many ways. They photograph coat patterns to identify individuals. They conduct surveys from the ground and air. They track movements. They study genetics. They work with local communities. They protect habitat, reduce conflict, and support anti-poaching efforts. Sometimes the work begins with a deceptively simple question. How many giraffes are here? Answering that question is not always easy. Giraffes live across immense landscapes. They move. They blend into trees. Populations can be scattered across political borders, private land, community conservancies, national parks, and remote regions. Counting them means understanding more than numbers. It means understanding movement, family, habitat, risk, and possibility. When conservation succeeds, it is often because people stop seeing wildlife as something separate from human life. A protected giraffe population can support tourism. Tourism can support livelihoods. Livelihoods can help create incentives to protect habitat. Protected habitat can support not only giraffes, but birds, pollinators, predators, trees, and countless other species. The giraffe may be tall enough to see above the landscape, but its future is still rooted in the choices made on the ground. We often call giraffes awkward. It is an easy word to use. Their legs are long. Their necks are longer. They bend in unfamiliar ways. They drink in an ungainly stance. Their bodies seem almost too strange to work. But awkwardness is often just a name we give to an adaptation we do not understand. A giraffe is not badly designed. It is exquisitely designed for a particular life. Its long neck reaches food above the competition. Its long legs carry it across open country. Its cardiovascular system serves a head high above the heart. Its tongue handles thorny plants. Its eyes scan vast distances. Its pattern breaks up its outline in patchy light. Its kick can deter predators. Its social behavior allows it to navigate a shifting world of companions and threats. The giraffe is not a collection of odd features. It is a whole animal. And like every successful wild species, it is the product of countless generations of survival. There is something humbling about that. The giraffe reminds us that nature does not design for elegance by human standards. It designs for function, resilience, opportunity, and survival. Sometimes that survival looks like claws. Sometimes it looks like camouflage. Sometimes it looks like a body so tall that it seems impossible. To understand a giraffe, imagine one ordinary day. At first light, the air is cool. A giraffe begins to feed. It moves among trees, selecting leaves with care. Other giraffes are nearby, though not always close. The group is loosely connected across the landscape. As the morning brightens, the herd may travel toward better browse or water. Along the way, the giraffes pass zebras, antelope, birds, and perhaps elephants. Each species uses the same landscape differently. One eats grass, another browses shrubs, another digs for roots, another hunts. By midday, the heat intensifies. The giraffes may rest, ruminate, or continue browsing in shade. Their movements become slower. The light grows hard. Heat shimmers above the ground. Then comes the long afternoon. A young male tests another male's patience. A calf stays close to its mother. A female pauses, head high, watching a distant patch of grass. A herd of antelope suddenly turns and runs. The giraffes look. Nothing may happen. Or everything may happen. As evening approaches, the world softens. The giraffes feed again, moving in silhouettes through orange light. They may travel toward familiar areas. They may meet other giraffes and then part again. Night comes. The savannah changes ownership. Predators move more confidently. Sounds travel differently. Stars appear. The giraffes rest in short intervals, never entirely surrendering to sleep. Then, before dawn, the first shadow moves again, and another day begins. Giraffes are easy to admire. They are harder to truly see. To truly see a giraffe is to see a creature shaped by the height of trees, the reach of predators, the rhythm of drought, the vulnerability of water, the strength of mothers, the rivalry of males, and the quiet intelligence of social life. It is to see an animal that survives through specialization. In a world where so many creatures compete for the same food, the giraffe reaches higher. In a world where danger can hide in grass, the giraffe sees farther. In a world where movement is essential, the giraffe turns enormous size into distance. And in a world changing faster than many wild species can adapt, the giraffe asks something of us. Look closer. Protect the places that still allow wild animals to move. Value the trees as much as the giants that feed from them. Support the people and communities who share their landscapes with wildlife. And remember that no species is safe simply because it is famous. The giraffe has survived for ages by living between two worlds, the world beneath its feet and the world above everyone else. It carries the sky in its silhouette, but its future depends on the ground. Somewhere across the savannah, beyond the last line of thorn trees, a giraffe raises its head into the evening light. It looks across a land of grass, dust, shadow, and distance. And for a few seconds, it stands completely still. Not awkward, not fragile, not a symbol. Just wild, just watchful, just alive. If this journey into the world of giraffes made you see them differently, share the video with someone who loves wildlife. And if you want more documentaries about the animals that shape our planet, subscribe for the next story from the wild. Until then, keep looking closer, because the natural world is never as simple as it first appears.